What's going on, ladies and gents? Your boy Gama back with the lovely
JuJu.
Hey, yo, JuJu.
What is up, Gama?
We gotta talk. Come on in. We gotta talk today.
Talk.
Oh yeah, we got to talk. Love, dating, and relationship hot topics. That's what we do here. In case you're new here, go ahead and hit the like button. Helps out a lot. We definitely appreciate it.
That's right.
Subscribe, notification bell, all of that good YouTube stuff. But JuJu.
Gama.
Listen, Keke Palmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actor, singer, activist,
She's all of that.
talk show host.
Yeah.
She's currently on the chopping block. They not playing
For
with her.
what?
Yo, they calling her a pygmy.
What?
They saying she out here raising the hand like me.
Please.
You know, I want
Please.
I want to be picked. Yo, but they really giving it up. They letting her know that they not really happy with it, right? And you know what? I think we should just find out, right?
Okay.
Let's find out why she being called a pygmy in these
What could
streets.
she have said?
What could she have said? Here we go.
When a man finds his woman under a bridge.
No, I live for Stedman, but you know that Stedman has for many decades been the butt of jokes.
Yeah, because of gender rules.
Yes.
People feel like because she's Oprah Winfrey, who did y'all want her to be with, Barack Obama? That doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, I feel like that's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, and then, but at the same time, I got to still be like, guys, what's going on here? Why am I? Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. No one cares.
No one
cares. And I frankly don't care if that's who you love. That's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never look. My daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that Keke don't need:
money.
From nobody. Now, if you want to give a little something, and give.
All right,
Good
let's
gosh.
yeah. Let's pause it. She going there. She said she don't need no money, yo. She don't need nothing from me. Nada.
Just
Nothing.
treat me right.
But yo, that might not be a good thing though. That may not be a good thing. So we gonna hop into that and drop your comments right away. Let us know if you know what your initial take is. Drop your comments. Let us know. But with that said, JuJu. So she said a lot.
She did.
She said a lot.
She did.
I see why people are calling her, women particularly. Specifically, I see why they calling her pygmy. Modern women. Let me be more specific.
Why is that?
You know what?
What's
Because
your understanding?
she coming in there just kind of flipping it. You know, a lot of women, you know, they always talk about level up, boss up, you know, up.
And they date nothing but
nothing but who's even further up. If I'm a millionaire, you got to be a 100 millionaire, and if I'm that, you got to be a billionaire. If I'm that, you got to have 100 billion.
Got to be able to take care of me and my lifestyle.
So that's what's commonly promoted and accepted. Keke right out the gate, she's saying, "Listen, what's wrong with the Stedman? What's wrong with the woman having like the more esteemed, you know, accoladed
the bigger
career?
bag,
Right, the bigger bag and the bigger person, and everything. What's wrong with that?" And now she did say something that's interesting.
What's that?
She said one thing she's never needed was money. And it seemed like what she was saying was like her father taught her like to find a man who just services you, right?
Services you, treats you right.
Yeah, treat you right is good, but something about servicing you no matter what you need. You know, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it sounds like that's what gives her that vibe of, you know what, I don't need your money. So that's weird. You know what I mean? Y'all got to help us out with that in the comments.
So the next question is, how does Keke view Stedman? You know what I mean? Like, is it more of like, hey, you know, he's
that'll
probably
give us a lot more to work with.
Right. Like, is he just like massaging Oprah's feet every day, soaking it, feeding her grapes while she lays back? You know, she doesn't lift a finger. You know?
Actually, that's the real question.
Because I could see how it could kind of sound like that.
Right.
Be like, you know, like, shouldn't just treat me good, cater to me. Which, again, nothing wrong with, but it's just the...
Because we don't know. I mean, we're going to play the rest of the video, but I like that question because it really helps even the person who's posing it.
Yeah.
You know, especially when the woman is acting like, listen, I'm having a hard time finding this type of guy, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about the example of that guy?
Right.
You know, if you say nothing wrong with Stedman, how do you feel about Stedman? Let's hear your take. You know what I mean? Just like when the woman says they want a really good guy or a nice guy, right?
What does that mean exactly?
How do you feel about the nice guys you met? Describe a nice guy right now that turns you on, that you find attractive or whatever.
Right.
That's usually when they, when things fall apart. You know what I mean? That's when it's revealed. All right, but let's listen to see what Keke talking about. Here we go.
Get my nails done, something cute.
But
I'm
shouldn't
fine
they
with
do
it.
that? But shouldn't they make that effort,
Yeah.
Keke?
But you might still look like Stedman to the world, and that's a great role.
Because if
I was married to, I was with Oprah Winfrey,
right, you just be sitting up your way.
Chillin'.
Yeah,
and Stedman, by the way, Stedman's esteemed.
Yeah.
Stedman has a whole career. He's just not Oprah.
That's true.
Yeah,
so the fact that how dare people compare you to your lover?
Yeah.
I hate that Oprah had to endure that.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that she had to endure that.
It's
and I
true.
hate that Stedman had to endure that. And that's why I said what I said, because you had a good role. Mm-hmm. You were supposed to be my Stedman.
Yes.
Come on.
He was.
When I played that for my dad said, yeah, because why do you want to be Stedman?
I wonder if those were shots to the ex.
Nobody cares.
Shots to her ex. Maybe.
No, that definitely sounds like it was. All the way.
It's her daddy. It's like, why do you want to be Stedman? But,
a lot of interesting things.
So there's more context,
yes.
right?
Yes. What's your take right now?
There's more context in the sense of her acknowledgement of Stedman, being an esteemed professional or man, in his field. So it's just that he did not have the spotlight or the platform like Oprah to be respected on a more of a global scale, so to speak. You know what I mean? Right. So that I get, right? The man has something going for himself. He's contributing, to the home. By the way, are they even married? Let's start there.
Yo, listen. Oprah,
or is that a whole other conversation? That's what we need to be talking
really
about.
This, yo. She ain't trying to mess that up.
No.
She like, if you love me, then just shut up.
But but pushing that aside, put a pin on it. But no, yeah. So she's acknowledging that, which is cool. But again, it's just like, look, you're a man. How do you want to be treated?
Right.
From a woman in a relationship,
the money thing, I'm gonna say this. I think it really does depend on the man. Some men just feel like if they make less, they just can't be a man in that home. You know what I mean? I don't know. They just can't get past that. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's like they making $300K. If the woman making $5, that still may be a problem for some men. Yeah. But other men, is more of a principle. It's like, look, it's not a numerical figure, right?
Okay.
Just understand if I'm the head, I take headship in a certain role, and it's not, it could be in the spiritual role, figuratively speaking, and other concepts.
Even in the finance.
Right. Exactly. Meaning you may make more, but it doesn't negate my headship. Right. And it shouldn't, minimize the respect.
Right.
Or the submission that's needed. All of that. So I think that's what matters the most, right?
Exactly.
Is understanding that dynamic. Because it's not predicated on money or educational status or social status or the size of your house, the size of your car. It's based on understanding the roots of it. Right. Traditional values are what traditional people are seeking.
Right.
So I'm not mad at that, but I also understand that there's some psychology behind it. Some people can't get past, like, this is a superstar.
Yeah.
And I'm just a regular Joe Smo. That's enough to make them feel inferior.
Right. So with that said, last part I'll add to it is that if a woman, you're in a marriage and the woman is making more, and is known more. I don't know if that matters, but let's just even put it on the surface of just, money-wise.
Right.
Putting money on the table. The woman makes more. It really shouldn't matter what the guy makes as long as he's, contributing. But even in cases like where the man doesn't need to work, maybe they have a family, maybe they have kids.
Yeah.
So he stays back.
Right.
I feel like that still applies, that headship. You know what I mean? Because again, if you're marrying with faith, being a true believer, you know the structure. So
and I'm glad
it
you said faith.
It shouldn't matter how much the point I'm making, what the woman makes, you know, in that sense. First compared to the guy. And
you said faith, man. That's really the truest, I would say, ingredient that's needed. It's not the money, it's faith, man. Because look, if money is what makes you confident, the moment you don't have it or you don't have as much, so is your confidence. You're gonna go. It's gonna go right with the money. So you shouldn't even be basing your worth or anything that is supposed to be, material. On material. So I would say that whether you work at a fast food spot and you're trying to build up, or you own it, you should still carry yourself as a man.
Right.
And if you have a woman, you should still be able to conduct yourself in a respectful way.
Right.
In a way that commands respect, not demands.
Demands, right.
Shouldn't be begging and, talking at that type of vibe.
And that's where, like, when you go outside of that, that's where the whole debate really comes into play.
Right.
For those who are, true believers, there's no debating. The word is the beginning and end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's
it in a nutshell. So we ain't gonna go too much on. We just gonna leave it for y'all now to like really help us out in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know what y'all think about Keke. Is she a pick me? Yeah.
Is she a walking red flag?
Is she a red flag? You know what I mean? Is she saying something?
Yeah.
And if she's saying something, what is she saying? Drop your comments below. Let us know what you thought about the show. But make sure you also subscribe in case you haven't. Hit the all bell notification. You won't miss a video like this. Like the video. Helps out a lot. And be back for more. We will have that for sure. Until then, your boy Gama signing out with the lovely
JuJu. Peace.